What's up, guys? It's Zenoyashu. I am back with another video. It's been a minute. I'm gonna warn you guys that this is a sensitive topic for certain people. It is about baby deletion. If it's too much for you, leave, take some water, take a break. You could pause it, come back. It's taken me a minute to make this video. It's near and dear to my heart. I'm a father of two sons, and so the way I view the matter is in reality, but there's a time I didn't care about this matter and I was like, hey, it's a woman's choice. But now as an adult, I can look back and say, dang, I was foolish at one time. I was just saying whatever to not ruffle feathers. But now I've been thrust into the war of both sides, and I can see one side is objectively right. And to be honest, that's part of growing up. Having bad opinions and then growing old enough to see that your opinion is wrong, I think that's wisdom, and I'm glad God has brought me has kept me around long enough to be able to see the folly of my old ways, you feel me? And so I got 3 different clips for y'all. I'm gonna let the clips roll, and then I'm gonna give my opinion on them. Let's roll the first clip.
I had an abortion.
What?
I was pregnant, Mark. And I found out just before you left.
I don't...
Please, let me. I need to say it all first, okay? I didn't tell you because I wanted you thinking about coming home alive, not this. And when you were gone, I was so alone. And the thought of going through everything by myself, I made a decision. But I should have... I don't know. Oh my God.
Eve. Sorry I did this to you. I should have been here. I love you.
All right, we're gonna pause it right there. That was the first clip. Whoa. Yeah, Invincible has been interesting, but everyone's gonna watch the clip and have different takeaways. I'm gonna give my view. So we gotta get it out the way. If you don't like it, I don't like it. I'm about to rip the band-aid off. That was selfish. Whoa. It takes 2 to tango. First, we're gonna talk about Eve. You have to understand that she said I was so alone. First, killing a baby doesn't make it better. You were sleeping around, you had a baby. Ending the baby's life doesn't help anybody. And so basically it's lacking basic empathy. Empathy is being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. That baby's a living person. We were all fetuses once. Fetus in Latin means baby. You're just a baby in the womb, whether it's in the womb or out of the womb. Women like to take away accountability from themselves. You spread your legs. You were having unprotected sex. You got pregnant. Now you don't want the responsibility. And okay, I'll kill the baby. Fetus, deletus. It's so disgusting. And so we're in a culture that glorifies women so much. We worship women so much. It's beta to worship women. But you worship women so much. Women's comfortability and comfort and not disrupting their emotions is more important than a baby's life. More important than the next generation. I'm passionate about this. And so billions of babies, more than World War I, World War II, Cold War, all the wars combined, billions of babies have died. The safest place in the world was supposed to be in a mother's womb for a baby. Now it's the most dangerous place because of this culture that we're promoting. And Invincible is promoting it. And so Eve made a decision. She was having sex like a big girl. Now she had guess what? When you have unprotected sex, you're not going to get a free TV. You're not gonna get a free Xbox. What did she think was gonna happen? Sex leads to pregnancy. Now she's pregnant. Now instead of being a big girl like all other generations and taking care of that baby, putting that baby's future, being an adult means to take responsibility. That baby's innocent. You take responsibility. You could give it up for adoption. You have that baby, now you sacrifice for that. Before, mothers used to sacrifice for the baby. Now mothers sacrifice their baby for their own happiness. Mothers would sacrifice their own happiness for this baby. Now mothers will sacrifice that baby for their own happiness. It's so disgusting. And so they're killing their own kids for their convenience. Crazy. And so it's now prioritizing yourself, my happiness over the self of others. And think of how that impacts society. The glorification of selfishness, conditional empathy. Oh, I'm empathetic for living things, but I'm not to call a baby a not living thing. If I hit a pregnant woman with my car, it's a double homicide. To say that that baby's not living, listen, man, we've gotten so far from reality. And so now the whole society is growing up to prioritize themselves. How can you, if you're willing to kill your own kids for convenience, how can you love your husband? How can you love your friends or anyone else? You're willing to kill your own kids. You're saying that your success, your career, your future is more important than that baby's life. It's more important than the next generation. And this is supposed to be the empathetic gender. This is supposed to be the soft gender, the nurturing gender. And so they're called the empathetic and they're soft and nurturing, but they're willing to kill the next generation for their own comfort because they don't want to grow up and be mothers, but they're willing to have sex and be mothers. If you've seen this scene, they literally had sex right after. The same thing that led to the baby that she had, she killed that baby and then did the same thing that caused said baby to come. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And so through propaganda and programming, women have become callous and selfish rather than empathetic, soft, and nurturing. And it goes hand in hand with feminism and being a girl boss, and you do what's best for you and you don't want to be under men. And so we had sex together because I'm a girl boss and my father can't tell me and wait till marriage. No, ew, that's so outdated. I'm gonna do what's best for me. And I run my own life, and you can't tell me what to do. You're misogynistic if you tell me to close my legs. But did she stop having sex? She just took away the consequences of said sex. She just killed the baby, but then she kept having sex. And we see this in a lot of communities. They'll have multiple abortions. Just because they have one abortion doesn't mean they're going to stop having sex. They're going to keep having sex. And then every time they get pregnant again, the baby gets deleted. The baby suffers. And so this is insanity by definition. Doing the same action and expecting a different result. Having sex, getting pregnant, kill the baby. Having sex, getting pregnant, kill the baby. You're expecting something different. Feminism told you can have sex with just like men. And now she is a casualty of feminism. Feminism said you're equal to men. You can be just like a man, have sex just like a man. Guess what? You got pregnant. And now she said, I'm going to kill the baby. And so she had consensual sex with Mark. Both parties had a hand in it. And so what we see Mark saying, oh, I'm sorry I did this to you. It's so beta. You had consensual sex. I did this to you. No. She spread her legs. She could have told you to put a rubber on. She is an equal participant in both of you are equal participants. She chose to kill the baby. He didn't have a choice in the matter. And he's saying, but his response is so beta. It takes two to tango. He says, I did this to you. No, that puts all the responsibility and blame on the male. Who chooses who gets sex? Women gatekeep sex. Men gatekeep marriage and relationships. A man chooses who gets married by getting down on one knee. A woman chooses who gets sex by spreading her legs. So she consented to pregnancy when she consented to sex. And they hate that. They hate the accountability. And so they had consensual sex. He didn't just get her pregnant. And so another thing we're going to talk on is she wasn't alone. She could have relied on her mom and dad. She could have relied on Debbie. Debbie's a perfect example. She raised Oliver alone. She definitely, it's within her, the content of her character, she would have helped to raise her grandson or granddaughter. We don't know because Eve killed the baby. And so she raised her husband's mistress's kid, which is Oliver, a freaking alien from another planet, but it was her husband's, and she's more inclined to raise a baby from Eve that has her DNA in it from Mark than to raise a whole stranger from another planet. But she still did that. That shows her kind, compassionate character of Debbie. She'll do things even when it's a detriment to her. So she would have raised this baby by herself. She would have helped Eve. She would have been there for her. But Eve said, oh, I'm going to kill this baby. My body, my choice. Fetus, deletus. They killed the baby. And then now all the kids who are watching this, all the impressionable youth who are watching Invincible, it's so disgusting. And so weak men don't give pushback. They just go with the flow. Happy wife, happy life. And they're subject to sex. Right after this, she's crying and all that. Guess what? They had sex again. This is why sexual discipline is so important. You got to have some PP discipline. Watch where you stick your PP. Make sure you wrap it up, okay? Yeah. She would have helped, the way she helped raise Oliver, she would have helped raise her grandson or granddaughter. And guess what? They end up having another kid again. And it's so embarrassing. So embarrassing. I got another, this is the second clip. All right, we rolling it. Let's see what he's got to say. Rolling now.
So I am currently 14 weeks pregnant by my ex-boyfriend, and I want to get back with him, even though this is a toxic-ish situation and me and him don't get along. Still want to do it for the sake of my baby. He wants nothing to do with it at all, but I really don't have a choice in keeping it or not. So I'm kind of in a position, I don't know what to do. Putting him on child support is mean, but what I need at the same time. So kind of hard.
I know what y'all thinking. As soon as I hear 14 weeks, I was just like, but then she says she doesn't have a choice or whatever the case may be to do that or not do that. Maybe it's religion, maybe it's personal choice. I'm one of the men that, hey, your body, your choice, right? Absolutely. But in this situation, wanting to get back with the father just for the sake of getting back with him, that doesn't work. She herself described it as a toxic-ish relationship. Who's toxic there? I don't know. The man can be toxic. The woman can be toxic. Who knows, right? It could just be a toxic relationship dynamic overall in general. So if you have a toxic relationship, why do you want your child to be raised in a toxic relationship if you do decide to keep said child, right? And of course, people in the comments are dunking on her, telling her she's stupid, telling her they were fetus, deletus, whatever y'all be saying, right? Then of course, there's other people dunking on her talking about child support when she's only 14 weeks pregnant. Now the baby's not 14 weeks old. She's 14 weeks pregnant and she's already talking about child support. And that got people's panties and holy boxers in a bunch, right? You already talking about child support? Damn, if he said he don't want nothing to do with it, he should do. He should strap the fuck up, just like the rest of us, right? If you want to hit a pretty chick or you want to sleep with a handsome fella, right? Strap the fuck up. Like, goddamn, y'all understand how this shit make my head hurt. You don't want a baby, but you fucking raw and not pulling it. Y'all, you on your own with that baby. Then stop. God damn, y'all make my head hurt. I'll be wanting to fight some of y'all. I promise y'all I do. Again, to that young lady, if you see this video, do what's best for you, but don't just, I'm just telling you, trying to get back with a person just for the sake of having a family together doesn't work. I promise you it doesn't. You'll be unhappy. The man will be unhappy. The baby damn sure will be unhappy because their parents hate each other and they could feel like the baby could feel like the reason why their parents hate each other. Y'all hate each other because of me, because I was born? Oh no, I'm going to take that into my adulthood and become something's going to be wrong with me mentally, right? Anyways, y'all.
Pause the video right here.
What do y'all start? I'm telling you, this shit makes my head hurt.
It's the same thing as the last clip. What did you hear him continually say? He said, do whatever makes you happy. Do what's best for you. And so this is why the community is in shambles. This is why the world is in shambles, honestly. There's no good elderly advice. Happiness over everything. Happiness over responsibility. Happiness means so much to, and so he was giving the man, he reprimanded the man that he doesn't know more than he reprimanded her. And so he didn't tell her to stop having unprotected sex. He didn't tell her to stop close her legs. He didn't say that, oh, it's her choice. She's in a toxic relationship. I wonder why. She's embracing hookup culture and she gets pregnant. Who would have guessed? And so, your body, your choice. What he meant by that is he meant if abort the baby if it makes you happy. Do what's best for you, girl. He said the baby's not 14 weeks old. Yes, it is. He doesn't see it as a baby. Men like this who are just led by their people, they just want to sleep with women. They don't give women any pushback. They don't criticize women. And this is why, more than all wars combined, abortion has killed more babies. A third of Gen Z has been wiped out by abortion by weak men like this who can't reprimand the woman. Hey, you shouldn't have been sleeping around with a toxic guy. I guarantee you, I put money on it. Where's the rain bet? She was not sleeping with a boring guy. She was not sleeping with Bill, Bob, a responsible man with the job with the 9 to 5. She wasn't doing that. He's probably a rapper, drug dealer, doesn't have a good job. It's a toxic relationship because the toxic smut books, that's what gets her oyster wet. That's what gets the panties soaked. It's not the responsible man. And so after she kills the baby, she'll keep going back to those toxic guys. I would say that killing that baby isn't going to make life better. Take care of the baby. Maybe you find a stepdad. I think things will work out, but killing the baby doesn't take away. Typically what happens, they kill the baby, they keep making the same mistakes, get pregnant again, kill the baby again. And so because he looks like he's 30, 40, Unc is supposed to give good sound advice to her, and he said, do whatever makes you happy. They worship the happiness of women. They don't want to offend women. They don't want to give women reprimand. They'll worship them so much they don't want to give women good advice. And so before, back in the day, women would sacrifice their happiness for the betterment of their children. They would do what's best for the baby, even if it's negative for them. But now we have women sacrificing their baby for their own better future. Oh, I was in a toxic situation. Who put you in that toxic situation? Either she's an adult or they love to infantilize women like she's not grown and made choices and she didn't bust her legs wide open for that toxic man while he was giving her that toxic pee-pee. Put him on child support. Go get a stepdad. But making the same choices, doing the same thing and expecting a different result is what we call insanity. And so let's go to this comment section. I gotta show y'all how crazy and deranged people are. Like I said, this comment section hits close to home because I have a 2-year-old and an 8-month-old. So let's see what's up. Roll in the comments now. Delete that pinto bean and move on. And they said, woo, right? Sad. We'll expose these people. This is how they think. Just delete that pinto bean, move on. Woo, right? These are the men. Mental health men. He said, woo. That's a child. It is. But look what Tristan says. It's a fatherless organism. If removed from the womb, it would not survive. Get back to me when it starts having human features. Disgusting. Disgusting. Look what Ariel says. That's a $500 appointment. Imagine your mother did the same thing. These are people with no empathy. These are people who don't care. And then there are good people there who are defending it. There are good people there who are standing up. Look, delete his fetus. That's a woman. That's a woman. She's happy to delete the next generation. She's an active participant. And she said quickly. Sad. These are women who are, this is the empathetic gender. This is the caring gender. This is the nurturing gender. Who's fine killing the baby. But they say, oh, it's not a baby. What is fetus? In Latin, fetus means baby. And it's so disgusting. But you gotta just, she said, girl, delete fetus. Just go to a different state. Look at Jennifer. Come on. Come on. It's so disgusting. And so none of y'all, nobody listening would be here today if your mother decided to get rid of you. It's so sad. Look what they're saying. These are adults. Adults who don't like consequences for their actions. It says abortion. He don't want to be a father or nothing, and nothing to do with you or it. This is how adults give each other bad advice. This is why y'all shouldn't take advice from social media. Look, fetus, deletus. He's laughing. Nazir, he's laughing. Look, he's laughing too. He think it's funny that the next generation's dying. They're happy. The next generation, ha 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 ha. You sleeping around? Just kill the baby, man. Get rid of it. See how sick it is? See how sick it is? Look, I'm fighting there. Get rid of it and move on. This is why men are the better parent for a child. Look, Christy, get rid of it and move on. Get rid of what? Get rid of the baby. They love their dogs. It's conditional empathy. They love their dogs. They love their pets. As soon as it's a baby, nope. I'm taking a drive to the next state that respects my rights and do as I please with my body. I don't give a what anybody says or thinks. Disgusting. Disgusting. Yeah, I will drive and catch a plane and come back not pregnant. Constance. These are the elders of the community. These are the people you're supposed to get sound advice from. These people can vote. That's even more frightening. These people can vote. They can vote on the leader of the nation. Yeah, we need to put abortion back in full swing nationwide. Y'all bugging because he's going sleeping around. And yeah, if I get you pregnant, just kill the baby. It benefits me. Weak men with no discipline. Who has gone out of business and she should abort and move on? That's a man. Disgusting. Disgusting. Look at Ben. Weak men, slave to their pee-pee. She has a little bit of booty. She got the tight clothes on, and yeah, I'll do whatever you say. I like the part where you said it's her choice to kill the baby or not. And he said, I mean, kill the next generation. I like the part where you said the baby should die. Correction, not a baby until it's born, a fetus. Stop giving rights to non-rights. Privilege, something. Come on. It's like be only one standing up for her, and y'all want to be standing on some. Come on. It's not a baby until it's born. What was it? What was it in the womb? Delete his fetus, one of my favorite phrases, and though I did not delete 5 of my fetus, 2 came close. Disgusting. Jasmine. Baby killer. Murderer. Serial killer. Serial murderer. She murders babies for fun. It's so disgusting. And so, y'all, I'm gonna roll the last clip. Starting now.
Howard, if she provides a great home environment for her kids instead of throwing them in daycare, well then she's a loser who is being exploited by her husband. These types of feminist messages have destroyed Western culture and has made people think it's uncool to have children. Worse yet, they often relate kids to being parasites upon their parents' lives or the planet. This anti-natalist message is quite possibly one of the most evil propaganda campaigns going on in modern history. How many people have been told that their life is over when they have kids? How many future parents have been told that they are selfish people who are destroying the environment if they want a family? But you know what's really helping reverse that propaganda? Video games. Recently, a game called Pragmata has been trending for its positive framing of parenthood.
I'm hacking the wrong dudes, and I want to use this, and I can't.
Well, maybe it's not easy for some people, but as much as people want to cite economic issues for why they don't have kids, and I do agree that is important, it's very important for multiple reasons. However, I don't think that money alone will fix the problem because we also need to bring back the value of having children. That is something that is culturally driven, and it's driven by communities that are pro-family and get along with each other.
Yeah, that's one of my YouTubers I listen to a lot is Think Before You Sleep. And so the culture is taking a swing. The only way that we can make it better is by calling out. These babies don't have voices. They're in the womb. They're alive. They're getting nutrients from their mother. Literally from the day of fertilization, when that sperm meets the egg, that's when it has all the components it needs to be a person. And people like to deny that personhood from elderly to adult to teenager to toddler to fetus. Those are all different stages of personhood. But now, because it's convenient to kill babies in the womb to take away responsibility, we're willing to kill fetuses. Soon we'll be willing to kill the elderly, whoever's a burden on society. And so our comfort matters more than the lives of these little ones. And so the only way we can make a change is if we speak up. Thank you all for listening. I'm Zenoyashu. I'll catch you in another one.